the start of another work week for us, and holy forking sheetballs, is it going to be a hot one. Yesterday we topped out at 95 degrees with a heat index of 111. Today is basically going to be the same, and the next 2 days are all between 91 to 93, so we're going to see what kind of work we can get done in this heat. But when Matt and I were talking last night, we decided that because the Helm is ready for a coat of high build primer, and pretty much everything else that we've done around here has had high build and has now moved on to kind of like the finished primers, the only area that would make sense to do more than one spot at this time is to also work in the forward V-berth, which we haven't touched in quite a while because after that storm, and actually I'm in this area, we used to keep all of our stuff right here. Well, obviously that's not going to work anymore. So we just kind of shoved it all in our V-berth, and now it needs to come out so I can work in there. So move all that stuff maybe down below the boat, touch up some stuff, and get that ready to spray in the next few days too. And in case you're wondering when they're actually going to go back and fix this, not while we're in here. Already just walking in today, I looked at the temperature. It's 91 degrees right now. Just starting the day, and we've got fans. That one there, that, this guy, and this. So I'm trying to stay cool. It's not working at all. I am already sufficiently sweating. I don't know if you can see it dropping on my face and all this dust. Ugh. 6 months of sitting there untouched. Now that she's been cleared out, let's give her a little wipe down. Now I have got a clean and well-lit workspace. You all have seen these next steps for about 50 times or so I won't take you through that. I'll just show you what I have been up to already really quick. So back there, after half steps head, I've been working the past week just to do like little minor touch-ups on the copes here, and then I kind of followed myself into this area down here. So that has all been getting attention minorly for the past couple weeks as I bounce through all these different areas. So basically from right now where the bed starts here, going forward, I'm going to focus on that, and I guess we'll see you again when we're ready for that coat of primer.
The other day, Matt had gone through and routed the edges of our Helm storage space, keeping the radius somewhat small so it would match the lines of the actual Helm above. But once it was done, we questioned if the neighboring steps had a radius that was too large, and the difference would be glaringly obvious while sitting next to each other.
Well, the question is then, should I make those smaller?
No.
Since we're still in the early stages and no primer has gone on yet, we decided to redo the steps with a smaller radius. Matt filled the edges in with some of our epoxy fairing compound, and once it had cured, sanded down all the edges to make it ready for routing once more.
Brand new day, and another one where we're expecting it to be 95 degrees for the high, so the heat index is probably going to be about 110, 111 again. I have just decided to forego makeup because yesterday, 20 minutes into working, I was pouring sweat so bad that there's no point of even putting it on. But what Matt and I are going to try and focus on this week, we have another project going of trying to do the doors here for the companionway, but we need a somewhat cool time to actually get those laminated. Even basically in the middle of the night, we're not going to have it, so we're focusing on getting specific areas again ready for that primer. The Helm station is going to be one of them. So we just are kind of at the edges here. We're going to do a smaller radius, we decided, so something that maybe closer matches this instead of the larger one we had. Matt's decided to go through and put on, you know, the extra bits of total fair to get sharp edges, and then we'll just route that over. And what I'm going to work on today, especially before it gets too hot, is the underside of the cabin top that Matt was working on last week.
Where he had taken off the extra edge meant to keep it safe during transport and sanded it down to a fine edge.
Just going to come at it from the inside here because you can still actually probably see better. All right, under here a good amount of fairing has already been done. I need to try and just kind of like transition here to a nice finish, and then make sure that cove where that comes together with the cabin side is nice. Get to do that all the way around, so hopefully that will be ready for high build primer, the helm will be ready for high build primer, and then the forward V-berth will be too. And now it's time for Matt to route.
Although these edges had already been done before, Matt was going back over them because after the first round, we had noticed some small voids in the fairing compound that needed to go back and be filled again. But then he was able to move on to the steps to route it with a smaller radius, matching the helm, to see if we thought it was a better transition between the areas.
Just went to pick up our mail from the office, and I want to say thank you very much to whoever sent this to us. I had it on our Amazon wish list, but with this heat and as much as we're sweating, of course we're trying to stay hydrated, but it's really nice when we can add these packets that are full of electrolytes and other things since we're sweating out so much of all of that stuff anyway, so thank you very much. Oh, one good thing for this week too is I finally did go through my camera and figure out that time-lapse issue so that it's not cutting off after just filming 10 minutes anymore. Let's have a seat while we figure this out. Alright.
Photo, video, time lapse.
So I just had to swipe up in here. Swipe up. Swipe up. Okay, customized. So what I had before is I think it was set on that. So I just had to go to infinity. We're gonna try 1 second intervals. I've also now upped it to 4K. So let's see how it turns out this week.
I always knew I'd be the one to care a little bit way too much. So now I'm gonna make a fuss. It has always been about you. Never been a table set for two. You never care a little bit, not much. So now I'm gonna make a fuss.
Outside, but sanded, I can go back. Fill it in. Show you quick look at what I've been doing. This isn't the best example because this is obviously very hard to get to with that angle. So let's take a look at this side. Right there, just trying to kind of blend it out. I went through the other day and filled it. Just kind of sanding it back down right now. I think I've got 120 grit paper on this. Seems to be about the radius that I'm looking for, but didn't fill it enough, so I'll go back in a minute with some total fair. This cove just needs a little sanding. All of that's looking pretty good. I think the areas that I'm going to have to work hardest on are obviously under here. I mean, you can still see fiberglass that hasn't really been touched yet, and I'll have to ask Matt what he wants to do about these edges. Although I think in the next few days we might only be priming under here, And instead of even spraying, because that would require taping off a lot of surfaces and kind of be a pain, I might just use a nap roller to roll on some of that high build primer. But I've got a little bit more sanding to do first. How the hell am I gonna get in here? And I guess is that Matt is working on bulkhead 6 in those areas to get high build primer on too.
After all that we've been through, I always knew I'd be the one to care a little bit way too much. So now I'm gonna make a fuss. It has always been about you, never been a table set for two. You never care a little bit, not much. So now I'm gonna make a fuss.
Go outside for a second because Matt is being super loud with the sanding. Let's see. So one thing that has been another total pain with the heat that's been coming lately is how quickly a lot of our items are curing on us. I think I was mentioning earlier that we can't even do the lamination on the cockpit door because just the temperatures have been too hot even at night. And the reason we can't work through the night is because obviously you can hear this noise right now. I'm outside, can still hear the vacuum going, Matt's sander going. We are unfortunately very much in a residential area, and so we don't want to be a disturbance to those people. Try not to really work before like 7 o'clock in the morning or after 9 o'clock at night, and in those hours it is just too hot to do a lot of things. But the point I came out here for, this is our Total Fair epoxy fairing compound. This is actually some stuff that Matt just mixed up and had a little bit left over. He was working on the interior cabin side, on the port side of the cockpit, and since he knew I was about to go do touch-ups, he gave me his leftover. He mixed up a lot, and it is just, how do I do this? Yeah, I mean, you can see me like leaving fingerprints in there, so now I'm having to make up even smaller batches each time I go to work. It's kicking faster. The good thing is that if we get a coat of something on in the morning now, by the afternoon it's ready to sand. We didn't have that before. I think I'm just gonna make myself up the smallest batch, call it good for this day, come back in tomorrow and sweat my butt off again. Hello everyone. Hi.
I went there, I was like, I'm at least gonna look at them. And,
Don't peck me, please.
they're like, you're the
Yeah,
only one.
once a week we just like put everything down come 6 o'clock at night and we go have some fun. Right now we are at Tucker's Farmhouse. If you remember Tucker from previous videos, he is the yard manager at Kentmore Marina where we're building the boat. And for a while he was actually living on a boat pretty much neighbored to us in the marina. But since this past fall he has been a caregiver, kind of like at a farmhouse. There's the larger house next door and it's just part-time residence now, so he kind of like maintains the lawn and other things, but basically he has this gorgeous farmhouse that he gets to live in. And since the spring started he has kind of become more homesteader, so he's got hens and turkeys and rabbits and all of these different things. So once a week on his day off we'll come over here in the evening, grill food, just kind of like hang out, play with all the animals, and so it's something that we get to look forward to each week.
What? What's your problem?
Now we get to go inside and see like the most babiest. Oh, it's hot. Guineas.
Oh my God.
Hi guys. Since spring started, not only through the homesteading with the birds, he's doing gardening. So there is a herb garden off to my left here, and off to the right there's things like lettuce and peppers and tomatoes. So instead of going to the local grocery store for these items, now once a week I come here and I pick my fresh herbs and different things like that. So I always look forward to our nights when we get to come to the farmhouse, just enjoy a relaxing evening, the sights, stock up on fresh produce, see a bunch of birds. So for one of my recipes this week, I need some fresh parsley, which I believe is this guy down here. Just gonna do a little taste test. Yep, should go pretty good with my rotisserie chicken and rice, especially because I do not want to turn on the oven or skillet this week. So I'm gonna have some cold rotisserie chicken in the fridge that I just have to shred up, put with some fresh herbs and vegetables over a rice blend. And since it is so hot, Tucker even needs to cool off some of his birds. So we got the geese and the duck over here.
Come on.
Are you guys enjoying the cool down? Brian Gooseline. But one of our favorite guys on the farm is Stanley, and I actually got to name him because Matt kept calling him Yeti.
He looks like a Yeti. He's the coolest thing.
But we all know that Stanley is the new Yeti, so it's kind of how he got his name. Catch something, Summer! And of course, the highlight for us coming to Tucker's every week, especially in the summer conditions where we can get outside, is poor Georgie, who's normally stuck on our pacemaker 24/7, gets to roam around here. But what do you do, Kat? You just sit. You sit and watch everything, don't you? That's okay as long as you're enjoying yourself.
Burger.
The tarp is covering the boat again, which means that it has been raining kind of on and off. We're about to get some heavier stuff later. And because of potential leaks and the high humidity, it looks like we're not going to be able to prime today as we were hoping to. So I think we'll just go back to interior sanding projects. And then we're gonna have some rain basically all day today. Most of the day tomorrow is supposed to clear up later in the afternoon. Fingers crossed we can get things primed then. So no big life-changing things, but the only good thing for me, I will say, oh my gosh, I'm getting dripped on right now, is that because I can't take the tarp off here, you can see it's going like all the way down the deck, is I finally get a break from all of that overhead work because that sucks. So I will happily just like lay on the floor as I do the co's and the V-berth in other areas, get that primed tomorrow.
Happy with how the roundover went. We did change that radius to quite a bit smaller. It's the same radius that's used here and up there, and we'll carry over the rest of it. So once we get this thing primed, we'll be able to evaluate it then better and see if we should make it a bigger radius or not, or keep it the way it is. Right now, this is a 3/8 inch, half-inch radius. I don't remember which way I used for it. Get that over this whole surface. It's white, so it's going to show a lot of kind of the way it's going to look overall. Remember, there's going to be non-skid on this, which don't know if this is going to be wood yet or exactly what we're going to do for the non-skid in these areas, but it's going to contrast with the white of the rest of the structure, and we'll probably show off kind of how this looks overall.
Last little bits of fairing compound have been added in the V-berth and steps, Looks like Matt has the helm steps just about ready, as well as that section of the port side, cockpit, cabin side. So I guess we'll just have to end it here for now. Hopefully we'll be able to prime tomorrow, but otherwise, there's nothing that we can do this week. So see you again later.